Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or bring. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. Vic's still looking like a restless king.
Ready to stop guessing and start growing as a trader. Welcome to Vici Trading Solutions, a community built by real traders for serious learners. We don't just post trades, we teach the why behind every move. With a full education section and daily breakdowns, you'll start seeing the market like a pro. You won't be trading alone. Inside the Vici Discord, you're surrounded by committed traders, from futures pros to rising crypto specialists, all learning and winning together. Gain first access to our exclusive indicators, powerful tools used daily by hundreds across TradingView and beyond. These aren't gimmicks, they're built to sharpen your edge. Each morning, our founder posts a full trading plan for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ and calls out the levels he's watching live. No fluff, just clarity. Education, tools, community. Whether you trade futures, stock, or crypto, Vici gives you the foundation and firepower to grow. Join Vici, trade smarter, conquer the markets.
And I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. How's everybody doing? It is a fantastic Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great day today. Super slow. I mean, we kind of nailed it with the whole low relative volume thing today. And I'll tell you what, this market is on one, the way that they just go higher. We were joking around earlier in the room about how I said something about when they pull back, I'd like to buy this. And Bryce, who's actually in here now, he was like, pull back. Yeah, right. And he's right. Fucking didn't pull back. It's crazy. Paul, good to see you. Mike Hagler, good to see you in the stream, man. You're doing all the right stuff. You're in the Discord room. You're doing the course. You're in the streams every day. You and me are going to make a lot of money together. I can feel it. We just got to let this market get its act together, and then we're going to crush something. Gordon, Arshdeep, pleasure. And, of course, Bryce, what's up, homie? Good to see you. There's quite a few people on X as well. So just wanted to say hello, everybody. Oh, Paul's in the house. What's up, Paul? All right, guys. So, listen, super slow day. We're going to go over a few things here. You know, the trade plan played well. The only issue is, you know, it was a difficult day because we didn't really get the pullback we wanted. SPX played pretty clean, but, you know, it was, you know, one of the nice things, however, though, is once again, the trade plan title did it all for us. We had the 7608 big major resistance for us to break out above, and that's what it took this morning. So once they popped over that, we just kept pushing. I really thought I was going to get a chance to buy the back test of that. It is what it is. All good. So with that being said, guys, as usual, we're going to get into the trade plan and just talk about, you know, the day. And again, I just want to express one thing. And there's a lot of people that made good money today. Some people like me didn't take any trades at all. I actually took one out of process trade that, you know, whatever, I lost a point on it or 2 points, and that was it. So other than that, you know, just sometimes not doing anything is a win. Like, I'm really happy with today, right? Even though I didn't make any money, you know why I'm happy? Because I really truly stuck to the plan. And sticking to the plan and being in cash is a position. And people tend to forget that. They want to trade so bad. They sit there, they're itching to hit the button. We're one of them. We had 25 people in the stream today. We were all itching to do something. Instead, we just sat there and kind of bullshitted around a little bit, because that's how it is sometimes. I mean, that is the joys of trading in the summertime. And really just trading in general. You know, you get 3 or 4 months of amazing volatility and action, and you better take advantage of all that, because when that is over, we enter these positive gamma, low relative volume regimes where we just grind. What you're seeing here is not out of the ordinary. First off, let it be known for all those traders who are relatively new, this is something that happens every year. Summertime sucks. And this is something that I've been experiencing for a long time. You think this is bad? You should have did this 10 years ago when your whole range was 10 points. I mean, it was really bad. So, you know, this is actually some movement in comparison to what we were getting before. But, you know, just to kind of let you guys know that this is, you know, and I'm not saying we won't get any volatility. Trump's always bound to say something crazy. But for the most part, this is what we need to expect. And, you know, we just got to be patient. Being patient pays so well. It's okay if you didn't take a trade today. Tomorrow, if you make double what you made, then life is good. And really, we shouldn't even be counting money like that, right? Like, you just take what the market gives you. Some days it gives you the whole shebang. Some days it gives you nothing. And so for me today, because I didn't feel like buying the breakout for whatever reason, it gave me nothing. So, but that's okay, right? So that's part of the game. And as long as we continue to play the game, stick to the process and stick to the plan, we will make money. We know the odds are in our favor. So let's go ahead and get right into that. Of course, I just wanted to make that clear for everybody, because I know a lot of people are like, man, I didn't get any trades today and blah, blah. You know what? Shit happens, right? So, you know, it's okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. Before we get into the trade plan, guys, make sure that you follow me across all the socials here. Ryan Bailey Edge across YouTube, Substack, X, and TradingView. Guys, if you are a subscriber and you are not following me on TradingView, you are missing out, because there is 2 invite-only indicators on there. If you are a Substack subscriber, shoot me a DM. I will get you this invite-only access. Once they're yours forever. So you can have them. I don't really feel like dealing with figuring out who canceled and then try to cancel their TradingView membership. So it's like, just take it, right? So, but if you're a paid member, you certainly deserved it. You earned it. And so just hit me up and I'll get you signed up. What is up, Shane? Shane's in the house, people. Good to see you, homie. Always a pleasure. So all these guys are doing the right thing. I'm seeing all the right things happen here. I love it. So it's good stuff. You guys know what it takes, and some days are just what they are. So again, I'm also Rob also made a cool new indicator that has something to do with, it's called Markov theory, and it's basically quantum mechanics and how hedge funds determine which regime we're in. So I'm going to end up putting that online probably this week. I've just been beta testing it, so it's pretty awesome actually. And it's one of those things you check once a day. I can actually even show it to you if you guys want to see it. Just remind me if you care. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the plan. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk a little bit more outside of ES as well, just because, God, all we do is go up, right? I kind of made a joke, but it was true. The other day, let me see if I can find this real quick. Just this kind of out of pocket talk, but it's true, right? So like this right here, let me see if I can pull this down. I made this little tweet. It's like, you know, people always say, oh, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I just get long the ES. End of discussion, right? Because this is literally what we're dealing with right here. I mean, this is unbelievable. We've seen these kind of short squeezes before, but this one takes the cake. I mean, we're looking at 9 green weeks and not very many few red days either, especially when I pull down the daily time frame. Just absolutely unbelievable. Look at these wicks, yet they still go green. This is just psycho stuff here, guys. So again, I will admit, this is not a real efficient market as we continue to move higher and leave a lot of stuff untested, but at some point we'll come down and figure it out. I don't know when that's going to be. Trump likes to continue to tweet that the war is almost over, and for whatever reason, the algos seem to keep buying it up. You'd think after 27 times they'd stop believing it, but hey, you know, I'm not a computer, so what the hell do I know? All right, so let's go ahead and get into the title here, kind of break this down. And again, guys, you know, like I said, and I just want to be very frank, you know, the trade plan was great. It's all about how you execute. And I think I've said this many times. I said this in How to Trade a Trade Plan webinar. I've said it, you know, a few other times. Like, you can have the most perfect plan. it's all about the execution, right? So here I am. I'm writing this plan. I know exactly what to do, and yet I didn't take any trades today. So that is just you could say it's my bad, or it was my prerogative. And some other people will take this trade plan and say, boom, as soon as it gets over 08, I'm gonna get long, right? And some people did. So I want to go over the trade plan because, like I said, some people really made it work to their advantage today, and then you got guys like me who are waiting for the retest that just never happened 2 times in a row. 2 times. We're going to talk about both of those right now. All right, so check this out. So we had the multi-day balance, guys. We are just still sitting sideways. We didn't even make a new all-time high today on ES. They missed it by a tick. They did on SPX. More than likely it'll happen in Globex. But guys, we are just sitting in a multi-day balance all week. We've been traversing sideways actually since Friday, and really we could throw a portion of Sunday in there. I'm sorry, Thursday, last Thursday in there. And we're just continuing to go sideways. And we've talked about how this works multiple times, about how they go sideways, they accept value, they push up, they go sideways, and we just continue to keep doing that over and over again. At this point, everybody should be very familiar with the process that we're dealing with. And so as long as we continue to stay up on all time frames, we have no choice but to continue to try to get long. So with that being said, we had the 7608 lid, and that was our 7608.50 resistance lid, guys. And I'm just going to, I really took a lot of time to make sure that we just covered the important stuff here. So basically, this morning I woke up, we were right in the middle of this massive 2-day balance area, and ultimately in the upper range of last week's balance area as well. Let me just go ahead and show you what I mean by that. So again, and I talked about this in the Discord room. For those of you guys who don't know this, we actually go over the trade plan every morning pre-market. I kind of give, my thoughts after it's done because, you can only put so much in writing. But, as we talk, it kind of clears things up a little bit. And you can see how we balanced above the previous weekly value area. We are essentially, again, we pushed up and now we're holding this next area. And this is, that we're balancing here above this weekly value area high as we continue to want to traverse up. And so, essentially as we have this multi-day balance, and we're above the weekly, value. This is, multi-factors for us to continue to want to get our push higher. So I just wanted to be very clear about that, what I meant by this. So, we were less than 30 points away from all-time highs at the time of this writing, and our edge is in the edges. And being directly in the middle of balance does not leave us in a good position for opportunity. And let me go ahead and show you what I meant by that, guys. So at the time of writing, and even when we opened, as you can see this blue A, that is actually the opening print. And so we were at this point of control, which was directly in the middle of the previous day's range, and basically sitting directly at Friday's point of control. I mean, you want to talk about dead smack in the middle, that was it, right? And so, for me, I always preach to you guys, and because I like high probability setups, right? I don't like to guess. My edge is in the edges, right? And so if I'm looking to get long, I'm looking for a pullback, right? And so as of sitting right here, it could have went either way. So really, it's kind of a coin flip of what's going to happen when looking at this from just a profile perspective. It just so happens they basically opened up and then, of course, just launched again as usual. What else is new? Here it is, individual that just bought it and just one time framed up until we almost got a new all-time high, which was crazy. So let's go ahead and get back into this here. Hang on a second. Let me move this out of the way. All right. So relative volume is coming in low at negative 15% this morning. And this was kind of interesting. This is going to be cool. So I wanted to show you this. It could slightly mute our expected range today. Honestly, that would not surprise me given the fact that we had no real scheduled red tag news events to cause volatility. So the expected range was 59.5 points. We had already moved 35.5 points in the overnight session. And so I was basically talking about the range to come in tighter than that. Look what we moved today. 55.5 points. Very close to the 59, but it was slightly muted. So, hey, I was close, if it was less than a point, I was going to bring it up. So, I had to at least score one for the home team on that one, right? So again, another thing that really kind of gave us, a little upside boost here was the fact that we're still in positive gamma. I mean, it's very interesting to me, the guys that have come new into the trading scene, because I have a lot of really great new traders who are following the process, and they just cannot believe the difference in positive gamma versus negative gamma regimes, as we've seen both over the course of the past few months. And as you know, negative gamma regimes are a hell of a lot more fun. Positive gamma regimes are slow, grindy, and to the upside, and sometimes they make no sense. There's no pullbacks. They just keep going. And so that's what we've been living with for basically the past few weeks, which has just been brutal, honestly, because if you miss that long, sayonara, it's over. So again, another positive gamma regime. Dealers continue to hedge to the upside, which I think we can very much see. And then of course, you guys know that I always like to break down the trend, and I break it down on every time frame, guys. The weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, we were all pointing to the upside. So not only were we in a multi-day balance and we were balancing on the upper end of the weekly value area, but we were up on all time frames. We had a positive gamma. Which direction did you guys think we were going to go? Right? I mean, think about it. Like I'm layering all this. Like I don't know what else to tell you here. So, it's unfortunate, but that's the kind of shit we're dealing with right now. So I just wanted to break that down for you guys. I thought this was super. To be honest, I didn't even get a chance to look at the final thoughts. I probably should have. Maybe we will. Actually, let's just look and see what they say. Let's just look and see what they say. Oh. I'm just going to stop right here. Nothing has changed. We're still very much to the upside in a buy the dip regime. All right. Okay, cool. We're still very much up. The map is clear, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. There's nothing we don't know here. All right. So here we go with the VIX. Check this out. Another sniper shot with the VIX. Oh, we love it. Okay, VIX. I love this right here. The 1620 monthly midpoint pivot. We talked about this in the weekend review. This monthly level stayed on the chart because why? Because it's super important and it's a monthly and it was untested and it's going to stay on our chart for a long ass time. Of course, I need to change it to red now because it's important. It's tested, but this monthly was our first level of true resistance. 1620 got the reaction yesterday, which is Monday, because we talked about this in the weekend review on Sunday. And once again, it played today. As you can see, this was yesterday. They fell back. And then today, they basically gapped right into it, right? And so this is going to be an important pivot for us today. And as you can see, it couldn't get above 1620. It started coming down again, even more, which again, guys, all this other confluence for us to be pointing to the upside on ES, VIX falling from our significant monthly should have been the next confluence layer for us to say, hey, maybe I want to get long. Maybe I do. Right? So there you go. So I just keep trying to layer in all these things that we're supposed to be watching. And, they give good signals. So they would have been a great signal, especially for me personally, to get long over 08. I dropped the ball on that. I'm willing to admit that. And I'll show you exactly what I was trying to do, and it'll make a little bit more sense to you. So check this out. So here we go. So now let's talk about SPX. And this really, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. It's really just one level that I wanted to point out. So we had this 4 hour level at 75.83. As you can see, the 4 hour at 75.83, maintaining above this keeps the trajectory back to all-time high. I even talked about this as a very significant above-below pivot right here. And as you can see, and it was really unfortunate, they basically back tested this at the open. Okay. I mean, they played it at the open, and that was the low of the day. I mean, they went right down, hit it. It was almost like they just right at the open, they touched it and boom, we were gone. I was obviously looking for a little bit lower into our big daily down at the lows, which we'll talk about when we get up on ES. But this was excellent confluence for us. Once we saw this hold, and obviously we started to, get a rejection from 7,600, and then they couldn't send it down. It was pretty clear that we were going to go up. And again, guys, right here, look, this maintaining above this keeps the trajectory intact for back to all-time highs. As you can see, we did make a new all-time high in SPX, even though ES was rejected by one tick. This is the real deal, right? SPX is where it's at. It's really, it's all about SPX when it comes to institutions, what everybody else is looking at. So, it's ES is a derivative. It's second fiddle. It just is. So, it wasn't a big surprise to me, actually, that they went to new high and started to come down. We were kind of flirting with that idea in the room today. And then obviously I was looking to buy these supports in here. And look, you could see they barely missed it. Of course, they held the value area high, but good Lord, we just couldn't get down today. Couldn't get down. I don't know why. They couldn't do it. But it's okay. It is what it is, right? So here's what I wanted to show you guys on ES. Right. So here's the big one, guys, right out here. And this was actually, if you recall, this is from the trade plan title. Right. And so we have right here the 7608 lid. Right. That's the lid. That's the big boy. That's what we're looking at, the resistance lid. So here you go. This is the resistance lid. We had the call wall at 15, right? And then we had the 0854 hour. So this played last night. As you can see, this was the smack here. It sent us down and is currently keeping the lid on price. It's a large level we need to reclaim. If we're going to continue to move back to all-time highs, a push above this takes us past the overnight high and through the call wall at 15. Well, this was the overnight high. At the time of writing, we were down here. So I'm like, okay, bust 08. we'll come up through here and we'll go through the overnight high. And obviously this call wall over here at 15. And of course they did. And you know what's funny? And this is what I was going to tell you guys. So when we came into the day, we were pulling back. We had this wick. I was so ready to buy this 83 and 84 spot. We were all about it in the room. I was talking about how good it was. I'm like, man, if they play this, we can go all the way back to all-time highs. Never got down there, right? And so then as we started to pop up, I'm like, I was like a little in my feelings, you know what I'm saying? It happens, right? I get emotional at times too, right? Like, damn, what's they're going to do this against me again, right? And so we start to push up. We get above 0850, and I'm like, man, should I break out by this thing? Every time I play a breakout, I get stuffed, right? So I'm like, okay, be patient, stick to the plan, right? And so you know what's funny is actually just now that I look at this. This is the push above 0850 first. I actually would have, if I would have bought this breakout, they actually came back. They would have stopped me out. They would have. And that's why I don't do breakouts, right? So here's what I want to show you though. Like this is the funny part, right? So they go up, and this is where they missed the all-time high by one tick. We were all long up here at the highs. We were trying to, get long or whatever, and it didn't work, right? And so we basically missed the all-time highs literally by one tick. And I thought, okay, all right, here's what we're going to do. And I told everybody, this is Bryce was the guy I was referring to in the room. I was like, listen, bro, we're going to pull back. We have this spot at 0850. It was the resistance in the morning. When it comes down there, we buy it. If we don't buy this one, we buy 97. Either one's going to play, we're going to make some money on this. And, of course, he says, pull back. Yeah, right. Like it's really going to pull back. And I'm like, bro, relax. Like we'll get a trade. Just be patient. Guess what we didn't do? We definitely didn't pull back. So he was right on that one. They actually pulled back. They cleaned the singles up, the inefficiency in the current TPO. It actually played the call wall at 76.15 that we mentioned in the trade plan. And I was just like, oh. So obviously I sat on my hands and did not catch that today. So, listen, I'm really throwing myself under the bus out here for a lot of you guys. Okay. I don't like talking about my failures, right? Like that's a very uncomfortable position to be in, but I want you guys to understand that this is the type of shit that happens to everybody. Right. And more importantly, this is my trade plan. Okay. And so I still don't get trades some days because I just have to be patient. I wait for the setup. If it doesn't come to my level, it just doesn't happen that day. And that's okay. Right? That's okay. Now, that's not, for those of you who are like, I got to take a trade and I got to beat this prop firm because I have to pay again tomorrow. Sorry, that sucks for you. But at the end of the day, like this is how real trading is done. Like you have to be patient. You have to be calm. You let price come to you. You don't chase it. And unfortunately, that's just the way it worked out. So, tomorrow, maybe it's a better day tomorrow. All I know is that today it didn't work out. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the next one. So this was basically it for the day. Okay. So we didn't get down in the 84. And of course we didn't pull back in the 08. And I don't know if some of you guys bought over 08. I know a lot of guys in the room did. I sat there and watched them all make money, but that's cool, right? As long as the team makes money. And then obviously I was waiting for that. Now let's just say this. All right. So that was the day. All right. Now here's what's really interesting. And you guys know, I got this little bot that basically, looks at 30 years with the SPX data. And, I know it was kind of leaning to the downside last week, but it's hard for us to, we take this data with a grain of salt because we truly put our process first, right? We know that we're up on all time frames, we're positive gamma, all this shit. So we just ignore what this says because our process takes priority. But, we don't want to ignore it completely, but at the same time, our process takes priority, right? So now I thought this was really interesting. This came out last night. I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but this basically says that, over 30 years of data, right? And this has happened, let's see what this has happened. This has happened 15 prior times that we've had in June, and RSI has been above 65 and a negative MACD histogram. There's a 10-day win rate that at some point in the next 10 days, a 93% win rate that we will go up another 2%. Another 2%? Really? Okay, I guess so. Fine, I'll keep buying, no problem. But geez Louise, like this market just will not quit. This thing is this thing's on the pipe for real. So eventually it's going to have to sleep sometime, but it ain't anytime soon, apparently. And we've got a lot of support to play underneath us. And so, guys, we got a lot of support to play. There's a lot to keep this thing from really coming down. And the only way that I see us really coming down anytime soon is that if we were to gap below the support in the overnight session. In the daytime session, there's too many dailies right now for us to just pretend like we could fall a couple hundred points out of the sky. It's going to have to happen in the middle of the night when cash session's not open. So I just want to throw that out there. I thought that was really important to show you guys. Now, I have some other disappointing news. I took a good portion of my trade off today on Lululemon. As you guys know, I was all about this long. I really wanted to see, as you guys know, my big trigger was waiting for the daily to close not once but twice over the COVID lows. Once that happened, I went ahead and loaded the boat. And then unfortunately today, we actually closed the daily back below the COVID low. And so I trimmed my position quite significantly today. For those of you in the Discord room, obviously you know that because I posted in the channel as I'm doing it. But I just wanted to let everybody else know that, unfortunately, this is right now, this is on a pause. I really wanted to see them hold that swing low, and the fact that they haven't is a little concerning to me. And so I went ahead and trimmed just to be safe. I am going to obviously monitor this trade. But what happened today, and again, I don't get news. You guys know I don't trade the news. Don't care about that shit at all. But I will say this. Apparently, there was a couple banks that downgraded Lululemon and said that they're only estimating their price to be about $140, which obviously wasn't good considering it's down 70% on the year, and $140 is like $10 higher than where it is now. So, the people were not excited, and they basically started to dump this. And I figure, you know what? Let me just save my little bucks and be patient, and we'll monitor it. So I'll let you guys know. Now, here, are you ready for the next one? Oh, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. This one, my friends, this is a winner. Check this out. You're going to like this, right? So as you guys know, and I talked about this for months, we played the 60,500 on Bitcoin, played it perfect, right? And I kept telling everybody the big target's 82,500. If it can go higher than that, it's going to go way higher. And if it doesn't, this thing is going to go all the way down to 45,000, right? And so you can even see when we were right here at 82,500, this is directly out of my Discord. I even showed where I was short on IBIT, et cetera, right? And so boom, today was epic, you guys, absolutely epic. This thing is getting nailed. And I'm not talking, look at that touch, precision. From a monthly level, precision. That's a beast of a hit. So you guys know that I took my first targets right here, about 72,000. It was a really sweet $10,000 pullback. Very happy about that. Unfortunately, this was my T2 at 66,000. I am out of ammo. I wish that I wasn't. I was waiting for a pullback. I truly do believe that this market is coming down to about 45,500 or maybe even lower. Just to let you guys know, I have done a ton of research on Bitcoin as far as like historical data and stuff like that. Believe it or not, every single bear market cycle is ended in October. So, and I believe they're all the same length too. I can't remember what it is. It's like, I don't remember what it is. It's like 16 months or something like that. I'll do a post on it. I'll dig out the data. I need to refresh it anyway. But, very interesting. This is totally cyclical. And it's just, October's around the corner. We got 4 months. Let's dump this bitch so we can get down there so we can buy something. I'll just go ahead and pull up this chart so I can show you guys just absolutely flawless execution off the 82,500. I truly believe we're coming way down here, 45,000 or even into the 35,000 range. All my historical data says that we'll come in the 35,000 range, or actually 31,000 is what it predicts. But for me, I have to trade the plan. So I'm looking somewhere around 45 to 44,000. I'm actually saving my shekels right now because I want to buy 10 Bitcoin. That's my plan. I want to buy 10 down here, 40,000, ride it all the way up to 200,000. So a couple of them, whatever, do my thing. And then, boom, we got some retirement action. So that's my plan. And because these kind of cycles happen, often, that I feel like we can really plan around it, which is pretty cool. And it's very similar to, the stock market, right? Like you have certain times that you could buy, like the sell in May, go away. And then of course you got Santa Claus rally at the end of the year, the whole 9 yards. This is doing exactly the same thing. And as this has become more of a predominant staple in our financial system. It's becoming more and more predictable. So kind of cool stuff. I just wanted to show you guys that. So pretty excited about this. This has been a great trade. I really, really hope that we can pop from right here, which was our second target, and basically come back, and I will reshort this whole 72,000 area, 71.2 to 72.8. And next time I'll use futures and not silly IBIT, because that did not pay as much as I wanted. I wanted to make 10,000 on that trade, and I got like 2,800 or something. Not exciting. So anyways, with that being said, hey, money's money. It is what it is. So I'm not going to complain. So with that, I'm going to just stop right there. I appreciate everyone joining me today. I mean, it was just a fantastic stream week today. And again, I look at today, no trades, I don't look at that as a bad thing, right? Of course, everybody wants to make money, but if you stuck to the process and you were patient, that's a win. Let me tell you, most people can't do that. Okay. Most people cannot sit on their hands. So if you were able to do that today, congratulations to you. That is actually a huge feat that you should be celebrating, because being patient, especially, while the market's moving, it's not easy. It's certainly not easy. So I will leave everyone there at that. Tomorrow we will do it once again. 8:30 a.m. is when the trade plan comes out. And tomorrow we will conquer the market. So I'll see you all at the post-market breakdown at 5 o'clock. Have a fantastic evening, y'all. Take care of yourself. Cheers, gentlemen. Everyone in the Substack group, I'm out of here. Deuces.